Garcia Matthysse, my final thoughts. One thing I forgot to mention in my pre-fight video for this fight is Danny Garcia's main weakness, and that is his defense. Danny Garcia has a leaky defense, and he's especially susceptible to overhand rights. If you've seen Danny Garcia against Ashley Theophane, then you'll know what I'm talking about. There was moments in that fight where Theophane loaded up with right hands and landed consecutive overhand rights on Danny Garcia in a space of a few seconds. He loaded up with one, bang, hit Danny Garcia over his left hand. A few seconds later, bang, the same thing. And the same thing again. He kept throwing the same punch, and Danny Garcia could not defend the punch. Now, Danny Garcia may have come a long way since then. He may have improved a lot since then. But this wasn't that long ago that he was fighting Ashley Theophane. And if you can't do something instinctively, as simple as blocking a right hand, the same punch over and over again, questions have to be asked. And as we all know, Lucas Matthysse has got a tremendous overhand right. So this ain't the fight where you want to be taking overhand rights like that. Also in the Khan fight, even though that fight was a short fight, it only went, 3 rounds? 3 rounds? No, sorry, 4 rounds. I think it was 3 or 4 rounds it went. Anyway, in the Khan fight, although Khan is very fast, all right, he's got the height and reach advantage over someone like Matthysse. He's much taller and rangier than Matthysse, and he's got much quicker hands than Matthysse. So, you know, you could say that that's the only reason that he was able to catch Danny Garcia as easily as he did. But I think it's more alarming than that. Did you see Amir Khan catching Marcos Maidana with those kind of clean right hands early in a fight, the way he caught Danny Garcia? Because I didn't. Right? To me, it looked like Maidana was blocking most of Khan's right hands on his gloves. And Khan was only really getting into the body. But most of the headshots, Maidana was, you know, blocking him with his gloves, and it was only half landing through his guard. Whereas in Khan Garcia, Khan was landing clean, flush right hands on Danny Garcia from the opening bell. All right. Now, someone like Khan, who's not, you know, a big knockout puncher at world level, you can get away with those kind of things and still win the fight. But with someone like Lucas Matthysse, you can't afford to be getting hit with those kind of right hands, man. Especially not early in the fight when Lucas is strong and fresh. All right. So Danny Garcia's defense needs to be tightened up for this fight. He needs to be very, very tight defensively. But on the other side, on the flip side of this whole equation, is the fact that Lucas Matthysse has had all these devastating wins recently against guys who can't punch. Danny Garcia is, as far as I can see, by far the biggest and strongest guy that Lucas Matthysse has ever been in a ring with. And if you see Mathisse's only fight against a puncher, in recent years anyway, Zab Judah, he was a lot more cautious against Zab Judah than he was against all these recent fighters that he's been facing, like Lamont Peterson and Mike Dallas and whatnot, and Elusigan and stuff like that. All right, those guys were guys who couldn't punch. They don't have a lot of knockouts on their resume. So Matthysse was able to just walk straight through those guys. He didn't have any respect for what was coming back at him. But with Danny Garcia, he's got a guy who's much bigger and physically stronger than anyone Matthysse has been in the ring with before. And he probably punches harder than anyone Matthysse has faced, at least since the Judah fight. So Garcia may be able to get Mathisse's respect in this fight. I mean, we're going to find out. I'm not saying he will be able to, but he might be able to. I'm intrigued to find out how Matthysse deals with an opponent this big and strong. Will he simply be able to walk through him the way he did Peterson and Mike Dallas and Elusigan and those other guys? Or will he find himself up against a brick wall? A guy who's just not going to fold like that. A guy who's much stronger than his previous opponents, who takes a better shot than his previous opponents, who can command his respect and stop him just walking in and make him think about what he's doing and turn it into more of a boxing match. And we saw Matthysse in the Judah fight. Judah managed to turn it into a boxing match, and he won the fight that way. Yeah, that was a close fight. That was not a robbery, people. That fight was not a robbery. It could have gone either way. It was a close fight. But the fact that Judah managed to turn it into a boxing match obviously suited him more than it suited Matthysse. If Danny Garcia can turn this into a boxing match, things could get very, very interesting. Right? Now, a lot of people have commented that Lucas Matthysse actually has underrated boxing skills. He does. He does. Lucas Matthysse is actually an underrated boxer. A lot of people like Shane Mosley and others have said he's also got a much better defense than people give him credit for. Even Tim Bradley said that, although Bradley only sparred 4 rounds with Matthysse, but he did say Matthysse was harder to hit than people realize. So I'm definitely not discounting Lucas's boxing ability. Even in the Judah fight, he demonstrated he does have pretty good boxing ability. But you have to wonder in this fight, you know, with a guy as big and strong as Danny, who can box from the outside and move around and stuff like that, as well as commanding Lucas's respect, how would a boxing match between them go? Who would win that boxing match? We're going to find out in a few short hours. I can't wait to see the fight. Very, very intriguing. And just a quick word on a couple of the undercard fights. Now, I've never seen Cano, this Pablo Cano guy. I believe it's called Pablo Cano. I've never seen him fight. I didn't see the Malignaggi fight, and I didn't see the Mosley fight. So I can't really comment on how he's going to do against Ashley Theophane. All I can tell you about Theophane is that he's getting the best sparring in the world. He's very seasoned, all right? He's experienced, and at this moment in time, his confidence is sky high. All right, that's all I can tell you about Ashley Theophane going into the fight. His confidence is sky high at this point in time. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing how that fight goes. But like I say, I've never seen Cano fight before, so I can't really comment. And one of the other fights, Ishe Smith against Carlos Molina. Carlos Molina is, without a doubt, the most underrated junior middleweight in the world. And there's a case to be made that he's actually the most proven junior middleweight in the world. Because if you follow this guy's career, I'm telling you right now, he beat Chavez Jr. Yeah, he beat Erislandy Lara. And he was giving James Kirtland a boxing lesson until that bullshit disqualification. All right, this guy, his style is ugly as hell. I ain't gonna lie. All right, Carlos Molina's style is ugly as hell, but he is one of the smartest guys around. He's very, very effective. He knows what the hell he's doing. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. This guy knows boxing from a technical point of view very, very well. Yeah, so Ishe Smith has got his hands full with Carlos Molina. He's seriously got his hands full. He needs to stay the hell away from Molina. Make it a fight about the legs. You know, he's got better legs than Molina. He can move around the ring better than Molina. You know, whatever you do with Molina, don't fall into his trap. All right, fighting on the inside and being smothered and all that kind of stuff. Don't fall into his trap. Right? Stay the hell away. Box in a Amir Khan type fight. Use your jab and stay the hell away from the guy. Because if you engage him in an actual chess match, right, or a boxing match, this guy's gonna give you all kind of problems. Stay the hell away from this guy. Right? He's not a puncher. You know, that's the oxymoron about the whole situation. You know, I'm telling Ishe Smith to stay away from him, but it's not like Molina's a puncher. Molina can't punch to save his life. Right? But he's so good technically. He's so good at spoiling and doing all these rough house tactics and doing all this technical stuff that he does in there. These veteran moves in there. Kind of like a Bernard Hopkins. He's so good at all that kind of stuff that you just don't want to engage him in any kind of technical boxing match. You don't want to do it. Right? That's fighting his fight. That's what he wants. Yeah, he wants to make it technical. He wants to mess you around in it. He wants to do all that. So Ishe Smith needs to stay the hell away from this guy, box on the outside and move around. You know, whether or not he will, I don't know. But what I can tell you is, like I said, Carlos Molina is definitely the most underrated junior middleweight in the world. All right, this guy is very, very good. Yeah, very, very good technical fighter. Very, very smart. So I'm also interested in that fight, although I think it's probably going to be a Molina special, which means a very ugly fight. All right. Very, very. I mean, his fight against James Kirtland was one of the ugliest fights I've ever seen. And that was down to Molina. Right. He fought like John Ruiz in that fight with the amount of, hugging and stuff like that he was doing and clinching. It was horrible to watch, but technically and tactically was brilliant. All right. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to those fights anyway. Looking forward to the whole card. So, yeah, drop your comments below. Enjoy your boxing. And obviously, I'll be here with my post-fight videos as soon as, as soon as we know the results, man. As soon as we've watched the results unfold before our eyes. So, yeah, this is Hatman. I'm out.